Diddy's children had largely remained out of the public eye throughout their father's trial. However, recent scrutiny into their pasts has uncovered some deeply disturbing revelations that are now coming to light.
You don't mind me saying, tis tales. And she said that she was going through the whole lawsuit. And in the lawsuit, it stated that he was recording a song. And the guy, Little Rob, had it in the recording that the girl was actually fighting him off her, and he was trying to make her drink some tequila, and she said, "What's in it? Is anything in it?" And he was trying to fondle on her or whatever like that during the time. And Lil Rob picked that up as the recording. So she's a part of the lawsuit.
What makes this moment particularly notable is its timing. As Diddy awaits sentencing on federal charges, 6 of his children have come forward to write heartfelt letters in his defense. Having already spent over a year behind bars, Diddy was convicted on 2 counts of transportation for illegal purposes. Now, Judge Aaron Subramanian will determine his fate. Although prison time remains a possibility, Diddy narrowly avoided a life sentence after being acquitted of several major charges. His defense team has presented the court with a substantial collection of letters meant to portray a more personal, compassionate side of him, including messages from 6 of his 7 children.
Good morning, guys.
Top of the morning, y'all. Step in, looking Frito. Step in. Ooh, oh my God! That jacket is, oh my God! That's the most jacket ever. Oh my God!
Good morning, guys.
Diddy's children portrayed him as a loving and dependable figure, someone who instilled lasting values in their lives. "My dad is not perfect," wrote Justin Combs. "I know he's made mistakes, and I don't deny that. But I refuse to let those mistakes erase the truth of who he is: a loving, present father who has taught me and my siblings the importance of respect, honoring women, and standing tall in the face of adversity. He's the anchor of our family, the one we turn to for guidance and reassurance." However, Gene Deal believes Justin's words are nothing more than a facade, suggesting that Justin may actually benefit from his father's imprisonment.
Let me just tell you something, bro. And this is real talk. He's still going to jail. You happy because he didn't get the RICO and the racketeering, so he gets to keep his money. He gets to keep his inheritance. He gets to keep all the shit that they stole over the years from other people. That's why he happy. Him and Puff wasn't that tight. They used to go at it. People close by would tell that story. Yeah, that's still his father. But you and I both know that extra shit right out there, come on, man. Outside the court, the judge might give him extra time for listening to his antics. Puff not coming home, bro. And you gotta realize, at 50-something years old, he'll come out to get his Social Security or better. How old is he? Born 69? We're like 54, 55, something like that. He'll come out and get his Social Security. He had to do 85% of his time. That right there, King Kong or Christian, acting like that in front of the courts, in front of everybody.
Several letters highlighted how Diddy became the emotional backbone of the family after the passing of Kim Porter, the children's mother, in 2018. Quincy Brown reflected, "My pops, as he's always done for his children, stepped up and made it a priority to be there for us at a time when he didn't even know how to be there for himself. Losing our mother brought us closer in ways only grief could." Twins Delilah and Jesse, who recently graduated high school, shared similar sentiments in a joint letter. "Our family has faced many challenges over the years, but no matter what, we've always stuck together. We know who our father truly is: a caring, loving, generous, passionate, and dedicated man. Christian Combs took a more direct approach in his plea to the judge, writing, "Please let him out. This is driving me and my family crazy. I'm asking for grace and compassion. Please let my dad out of jail." However, despite the emotional appeals, experts believe it's unlikely that Diddy's sentence will be shortened simply because of his family's letters. Still, his legal team has made a bold move by requesting a sentence of no more than 14 months, nearly the same amount of time Diddy has already served. If Judge Subramanian agrees, Diddy could potentially be released before the end of the year. Meanwhile, TMZ has reported that Diddy may already be negotiating behind the scenes with the government in hopes of securing an early release.
Diddy is upping his offer to the government. He wants out of jail right now. You know that he is still behind bars at Brooklyn NBC while he is awaiting his sentence in October. But right after he was sentenced, they tried to get out on bail. They made an offer that said, we'd like for him to be released on $1 million bail. The judge shut that down. So now it's like he's playing Let's Make a Deal, right? How about this, Your Honor? What if we offer a $50 million bail package? The money has gone up, but the reason that he thinks he should get out is because he says what he's convicted of were non-violent offenses. And he's right. He's right that he was convicted on 2 counts of the Mann Act. The Mann Act is hiring a prostitute and taking the prostitute across state lines. It's a non-violent crime. So when you look at what happened, there were allegations that he was violent toward Cassie and Jane, during the prosecution's case. There was testimony. But the jury found him not guilty on those counts. And when you look at the Intercontinental video in 2016, he would have been convicted had he been prosecuted in California. But he wasn't. And the statute of limitations ran. So his position is, look, you're holding me because you say I have violent propensities, but that's not what I was convicted on. It's not what he was convicted on, but those violent propensities do exist.
Look, the bottom line is they didn't convict him of violence.
Point. The Mann Act, under the bail statute, you can argue what you think the law should be. Here's what the law is. Under the bail statute, it is considered a violent crime. We can say it doesn't include violence. The Mann Act, 18 U.S.C. 2421, prohibits the transportation of individuals across state lines for prostitution and other immoral purposes. This is called a crime of violence when determining whether to detain a defendant on bail.
Right. On bail. No. He just dropped. No, hold on. We had the actual.
He's asking for bail.
You harassed him?
No, but the judge didn't allow bail for $1 million.
I know.
They were willing to put $1 million up. And by the way, as well as I know, that and I'm not defending Diddy here. All I'm saying is, I'm not. I mean, Diddy should have been convicted in California.
Hold on.
But what I'm saying is, the Mann Act is not a violent crime.
I know what you're saying. I get it.
It's not.
But the judge has to go by the code.
So is this about amount? Is this about amount?
Not about amount. So
it says on bail. It says on bail.
Violent crime. The defendant, the convicted defendant, has to prove by preponderance of the evidence to convince the judge one of 2 things. Either, both, he's not a flight risk. The judge did not weigh not letting him out on him being a flight risk. There's no real evidence he's a flight risk, and that's what the money would go to. Is he willing to leave $50 million behind? He has an ankle monitor. Right. He's not really a flight risk.
Surrenders passport, too.
Surrenders passport. The other thing that Diddy has to show, the burden is on Diddy, is that he is not likely to commit the same violent act, the Mann Act, again. Diddy, remember, even though he knew he was under federal surveillance, even though he was about to be arrested, was conducting a freak off.
So what you're saying is they will keep him behind bars pending sentencing because they're afraid he might have a freak off with a... Correct.
That narrative appears to be gaining more credibility with each passing day. Even Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, who turns 85 this year, wrote a heartfelt letter in his defense. She acknowledged that her son has made serious mistakes, but urged the court to recognize the man she raised beyond his flaws. Despite her plea, Diddy has been denied bail every time his legal team has applied for it, making the judge's upcoming October decision the family's greatest hope for a reunion. However, many critics argue that Diddy's family is the last group that should be appealing to the judge's emotions, given the troubling allegations surrounding some of them. For instance, Justin Combs was recently named in a lawsuit alongside his father, even as Diddy's high-profile trial unfolded. Filed in Los Angeles, the suit accuses Justin of using his father's influence to lure a woman from Louisiana under the guise of a job opportunity, only for her to allegedly face mistreatment and coercion over the course of a weekend. The timing of this lawsuit raised eyebrows. It surfaced just as Diddy's trial reached its final phase. On that very same day, Diddy's other son, Christian, known as King Combs, released a 7-song album titled Never Stop. One track, Diddy Free, notably lists Yeah, formerly Kanye West, as a producer. Observers have pointed out that Christian seems to be following closely in his father's footsteps, though perhaps not in the most admirable ways.
I heard about the mixtape, bro. I heard some of the lyrics is on there. But when do you grow up, man, and be who you really are? Because you ain't no gangster. You don't know what a gangster is. You a prankster. You a prankster, son. Stop that. I think when the people heard the mixtape and they called him out on it, and they was checking him and they was trying to check him, but they lost, bro. They don't have no guidance. The dude who's supposed to be doing, I don't know if he's security, whatever like that. Man, what the fuck is you doing out here like this? He gets on the ground and start doing push-ups with him. Bruh, for real? Man, put your shirt on and get your ass back in that damn car. Stop acting like you stupid. Act like you got some sense. That's when they making the dollar make them, bro. The dollar is making them. What you happy about? You gotta realize they know his daddy's still going to jail. They happy because they feel like the government doesn't have a right to mess with nobody's assets at this time. The verdict on the RICO, non and void. Nothing. Racketeering, nothing. And I guess it was some kind of, what was the other charge? Sex or something like that? Not sex. They got the sex charges, but the RICO, the racketeering, and the kidnapping. The kidnapping. Coercion, kidnapping, all this like that. All that was non-void. It went nowhere. It went nowhere. But you still partying? Your dad about to do some time. So he ain't getting life. Maybe he's around there dancing because Diddy ain't getting life.
Gene Deal also suggested that it was likely King's reckless behavior that ultimately played a major role in Diddy's arrest in the first place.
Like he played a part in that video coming up. He'll make it a comment saying that, they forgot to raid the house next door that his dad owned. Yeah, man, he was walling out.
Yeah, I think he was just, I don't believe he bought the house next door. Because let me just tell you something. If anything or any name that had to do with Bad Boy, the federal government going to run that. They know all the properties Diddy have. They wasn't even talking about the raid that they did in New York. But they did a raid in New York too.
Yeah, I ain't heard about that raid. I only heard about the LA and Miami raid. But you feel like the feds, they released that video over King Combs' comments.
Oh man, I've worked in law enforcement for 27 years. And I had the opportunity to see Hyder. It's a place where they have the state, the feds, the NYPD, the Department of Corrections, and the state police. Yo, this place could be half of a basketball court. That's where they just got lines of computers with officers of all different people and officers just on the internet. Whoever's over that case, whoever's working that case, don't you know they saw that and took it to their boss? You might think it's petty, but it's not. You do not agitate a lion with a pork chop. And that's what that kid did, bro.
Some people feel like, Diddy, he played a part in that video coming out too. Him being spotted with Stevie J, smiling at the camera. A lot of people blame him too.
But bro, what did I tell you? He's such a narcissist that he has to be in the public.
For Diddy, legal battles are nothing unfamiliar. His troubles reignited in late 2023 when his former partner Cassandra Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit accusing him of serious misconduct. Although that case was settled the very next day for $20 million, it sparked a wave of similar lawsuits from others making related claims. The latest lawsuit alleges that Justin used promises of career advancement and personal photos to manipulate the woman involved. It also accuses Diddy of having a long-standing pattern of such behavior, suggesting that Justin's alleged actions mirror his father's. Diddy's legal team has strongly denied all allegations, calling them false and sensationalized. The plaintiff, however, is seeking damages, claiming the ordeal caused her severe emotional distress. As Diddy and his attorneys continue to fight these accusations in court, online speculation has grown, with some suggesting that Diddy may even be leaking information about his own children to divert public attention away from himself.
Diddy does have a plan to try to derail the information, derail the chain of evidence, derail history as it actually happened. And he is the kind of guy that has no problem with re-victimizing people all over again. Let's just keep it a buck. These girls showed up at a very opportune time, did they not? Adria and Lamisha Fuller. Very opportune time. I do Pierce Morgan. The elites go insane. Ariel Mitchell Kidd drops Adria English as a client after she got drunk and talked with Tasha K, which was bad in itself, if you ask me.